So this very nice gal, undergrad student at Colorado State, came in with her pet frog, and the frog had ingested some of the moss bedding that lays on the bottom of the aquarium and gotten impacted in its intestines. So this is a very, very sick little frog and a very, very sad little student.
Yeah.
And her thing was, I know it's just a frog. I know it's this little frog, and I don't have a lot of money. I can't spend thousands of dollars for surgery to save this frog. Don't laugh. She loved the frog. That was the point. She loved the frog very much. And
people throughout history have loved frogs.
Exactly. Some of them you can kiss them, for their own reasons. But anyway, she wanted to save the frog, and our hearts kind of went out to her, and we decided that we were going to do this as kind of a pro bono case. She covered the cost. I think it ended up being $99. But then we made a big to-do out of trying to save this frog. So basically, as the senior student, I was in charge of the anesthesia for the frog.
Oh my goodness.
You know how you anesthetize a frog?
No.
It's actually kind of interesting because they respire not only through their mouths and their nose, but through their skin.
Yes.
And so you use a powder that you dissolve in water, and you lay the frog in the water, and it dissolves across the skin and anesthetizes the frog. So it's pretty cool. But then as the respiration is happening primarily through the skin, it's very, very hard as a senior vet student to tell whether or not the frog is alive or not alive.
Yes.
There are not a lot of things you can monitor if it's not breathing. So basically, I was there monitoring the anesthesia and had no idea whether the frog was alive or dead. We had our best vascular surgeon come in to do the operation, and he did go into this like tissue paper thin little intestine and remove all of that moss and sew up the frog's little itty bitty intestine.
Oh my goodness.
And then it came time to wake up the frog. So the way you do that is you put them into just regular water, like distilled water, and basically just kind of spoon the water over their skin until the anesthetic is washed out. So I did that for about an hour with nothing happening.
Oh, jeez.
And we had about 50 people in there kind of watching the surgery, and wow, it's a frog, and it's really, really interesting. And as soon as the surgery's over, they're gone. And the professor goes up to teach a class, and I'm there by myself, spooning water over a frog, because that's what you do when you're a senior vet student. That's just, that's what you do. And after about an hour, I'm like, how long do I sit here and spoon water over a dead frog? I don't know. And then I start seeing things because the little foot goes.
Oh, that's a good sign.
And I'm like, I know I'm seeing things now because I've been sitting here for an hour doing this. And the next thing you know, kind of shifted a little bit. And I'm like, maybe I'm not seeing things. Well, sure enough, this frog wakes up, lives. Happy ending, wonderful story, super happy girl who for $99 got her little $5 frog back, alive and well, and all was well from there on. But that's just one that sticks with me because it was a really neat case and something that we did to help out. In the case.
No kidding.
Yeah, with our best vascular surgeon for $99.
So how many people did you have around this little tiny frog?
A lot. Because it spreads like wildfire through the entire hospital, and everybody wants to come in and see. So at any given time, probably 30 people standing around a frog on a table.
Oh my goodness.
Watching me run the anesthesia that I had no idea what I was doing.
No, most people, if their frog starts behaving oddly, they'll be like, oh, Hoppy is acting weird. And then 2 days later, it's dead.
It's gone, yeah.
I wouldn't think of taking a frog to a veterinarian.
Yes, but, we were there.
Yes.
So she decided to try, and she didn't have high hopes that we were going to be able to do anything. But
how were you able to tell? Were you able to tell beforehand that it was impacted moss in the intestine?
Oh, we took an x-ray.
Oh.
But we were suspicious of that because she had seen the frog eating it, and that's how he was acting. And
I see.
But it was an X-ray that let us know that he had that stuff in there. I know it was a crazy story. But one of the interesting things was that when he was in the abdomen of the frog doing the surgery, he could lift up the skin and look up at the heart. So I'd be like, "Is the frog alive?" Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still beating. I'm like, good. I'll just mark that down. Yep. Check. All is well.
Tininess has its advantages, I guess.
So frogs can be very special too, and
even when their skin does not change texture.
Even so. Although that's pretty cool.
Behind you!
Watch out.